Don't build up a property portfolio of rent-to-rent HMOs right now. And I will share with you in this video why. So why shouldn't you start a rent-to-rent portfolio using the HMO strategy right here and right now? Well, it's quite simple, really, because serviced accommodation is the new buzzword. It's been around a long time, serviced accommodation. This isn't a new thing. This is your holiday lets, your Airbnbs, and your booking.coms. And right now, everybody is looking to get into the serviced accommodation market, which is why you shouldn't be looking to get into the HMO market. Or have I got that all wrong? If you listen to investors who have invested pretty much their whole lifetime, you listen to the likes of Warren Buffett, for argument's sake, the most successful investor ever, who says, look at what the masses are doing and do the opposite. Do you know what? If you took his advice right now, you may find those HMO deals a little bit easier to come by. Why? Because everybody's looking for serviced accommodations. So while they're doing that, why not build up a portfolio of rent-to-rent HMOs? Because everybody's looking somewhere else. And this is what I look for. I look for trends. If I see a trend, I'll see what opportunities are out there that I can capitalize on whilst everybody's looking in a different direction. And you should try and do the same. So really, if you're looking at this now and you're thinking, I want to do serviced accommodation, why? Because there's more profits and everybody's doing it. That is not a good reason to be getting into that strategy. There is plenty of good things about serviced accommodation, and I'm not putting it down. I have some serviced accommodation units. But predominantly, if I was now starting rent to rent and predominantly just a rent to rent business, I would be fully focused on HMOs because it's easier to get the marketing out there. It's easier to know where the landlords are. It's easier to get in front of agents and people talking about it. There's going to be a lot of compliances. There's going to be a lot of restrictions coming in the serviced accommodation market over the next couple of years. Why? Because people are making some good money out of it and everybody's in there. It did exactly the same thing with HMOs. Back in 2012 onwards, they started bringing in more regulations. They started making things more strict and they started making it harder for you to be able to convert properties into HMOs like Article 4 and all sorts of different things in different areas. So it's really about making sure that you don't follow the masses, that you follow what works for you. Now, if you don't want to get into HMOs and you don't want to manage them, that's fine. Why not build a business like I have and have other people do that for you? That is what it's all about. I am still very much involved in my rent-to-rent businesses, but I do have and I do pay people to do the things that maybe I don't want to do, that maybe are not the best use of my time when looking for deals, when growing a business. So that's what I do. I'm lucky and fortunate in the sense that I can employ people to do the things that they enjoy, whilst I can still go out there and do the things that I enjoy, which also means that I can diversify my portfolio. It means I can also look for other opportunities out there. And if a serviced accommodation opportunity comes my way, you'd be a fool not to take it. But right now, if you're watching this video in 2022, at the halfway point of the year, I would personally throw all my eggs into getting some HMOs up and running, getting some cash flow coming in and moving forward from there. Get the cash flow coming in, get out of whatever jobs you're in, or if you're struggling financially, get some money coming in. Make sure you set yourself up for success. Use the free tools and resources that we offer at the Property Unleashed HQ. So if you go and visit thepropertyunleashed.com, there's some free tools and resources there. There's a 10-step rent-to-rent guide, which will help you set yourself up. There's also a 3-module training, which is completely free on rent-to-rent. That, my friends, is there to help you get started and set yourself up legally and compliantly. Also, I have a deal analyzing spreadsheet that is yours completely free. So you can stack the deals, because a deal isn't a deal unless it's a deal. So you've got to make sure it's a good deal. So make sure you get yourself out there now and you're looking for the deals that suit you. If you're already started serviced accommodation, then by all means carry on. And who am I to say that it's right or wrong? But But if you're not, and you're thinking about, this is really hard to get into this market at the moment, I'm unsure whether I'm actually going to get clients to come and stay in my properties, I'm looking for quick cash flow, an HMO is brilliant, because no sooner than you had the keys and you have that property ready to rock and roll, or let, should I say, you can start making money. You can start knowing how your cash flow is coming in. And that's why I started with HMOs. Plain and simply because I knew if I got a property, if I filled the rooms, I made the money. Oh, and then there's the old one that everybody's always thinking, I know, because I did. What happens if I can't fill the rooms? Well, if you know your area and you make sure that you're going for the right tenant types, which I've told you about in other videos, you will fill your rooms. What happens if the tenants don't pay? Now, that is a big one. Of course it is, because if the tenants don't pay and we're paying a guaranteed rent to people, well, that's not good business at the end of the day. So what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that your referencing is tight, that you get guarantors, you get genuinely good guarantors. I'll tell you now, if you're talking to a tenant and you say, we're going to need a guarantor for your rent, and they say, I haven't got a guarantor, don't have the tenant. Simple as that. Go with your gut, meet these people, go with your gut instincts as well. But I'll tell you for a fact, if somebody wants to move into one of my rooms and doesn't have a guarantor now, I am not willing to be that person's guarantor, I'm afraid. Why should I put all my eggs in one basket and risk them not paying with no comeuppance if they cannot find somebody to help them out? So if they haven't got a friend or a family member that's willing to back them and say, do you know, if they don't pay the rent, I'll pay the rent, then I'm not willing to do so either. By using these methods, you can make sure that you put yourself in the best possible position to make sure that these things do not happen. And I, touch wood, have not had any major issues with any of these at the moment. So obviously what we're doing is correct. Obviously what we're doing works, and we make sure that we push ourselves forward and evolve those methods all the time. And these are the same methods that I teach my rent-to-rent business builder students as well, so that they can make sure that they're set up for success and they don't have these problems as well. So a little tip here, a little, maybe a bit of advice for you. Take it how you want it. It's meant, you know, with love, so to speak. It's meant in good jest. Have a little look at this at the moment. Everybody's looking one way. Maybe you just want to look the other way and go for something that everybody's not looking at the moment. Build your own HMO portfolio up using rent to rent, and then go and play with serviced accommodation if that's what you want to do afterwards. But you'll have the money and the backing then to potentially be able to pay somebody else or other people to do all of the running around for you, so that you can get on with your life, you can get on with managing and running your businesses, and you can build the future you desire. I hope this video's helped you. If it has, please feel free to share it, subscribe, put a thumbs up, like it. We're bringing these out all the time. Don't forget to check out those free tools and resources. There'll be links in the comments for those, and I'll see you in the next video.